Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sackhoff Show. If you're on YouTube right now and you're not driving in your car, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel. See that button that's flashing? Hit that. I cannot wait to just get into who this guest is. I am interviewing Brandon Rogers today. The first time I saw Brandon, he had this line around the block at this convention, and I was like, I need to know this guy. We sit down, we get to know each other. He is from Hasbin Hotel, Helluva boss, and his YouTube channel has 7 million subscribers. We talk about the show, how he got into it, success on YouTube, and his thoughts on AI. It's a really wonderful conversation, and I'm going to get out of your way right now so we can get straight into it. Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. Better now that we're here on this show.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm so happy to officially meet you.
It is lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Oh my God, of course. So I have to say, the first time that I entered into your world, which to me is so intimidating. But it was at a convention, Brandon, where your line, I shit you not, it was out the door around the block. It was so long. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And you were sort of 2 people down from me. And I was like, I need to know who Brandon is. And people in my line were like, you don't know who Brandon is. And I was like, I need to find out who Brandon is. And then ultimately I knew who you were. But I just never seen you.
Oh my God.
Just you.
What convention were we at together?
I do not remember. I think it might have been Portland.
Okay. Oh, wow. So yeah, that I try to remember every convention, but after a while they start to blend together. But Portland was a particularly busy one, I remember. I'm so you should have come up and talked to me. I get so bored sometimes, and I bother a lot of other people while I'm signing, especially if someone's credit card, if they're having an issue with the Square reader, or if they're taking long, if they're paying in change, and so my handlers can't, and I'm just standing there, and it is a little uncomfortable because you're just kind of
super awkward.
This waiting period. So I will go and I'll bother some of the other celebrities while I'm there, and so I'm always down for. If you ever see me at a con, I love being bothered. I love bothering other people, and so
oh my God, I love it. Well, I'll do that. I looked at our schedules for the remainder of the year because I have a ton of cons coming up, and I looked at your schedule, and we don't overlap. So maybe next year.
Next year.
Year.
They're trying to keep us apart, Katee.
They are, damn it. And it's this is meant to be, I feel it.
Yes.
But I wanted to sort of start from the beginning of you and Brandon and your career, because if the audience that's listening needs to understand a little bit more, I want to talk about that, because you have got this personality, this larger than life personality on YouTube. You have 7 million followers on YouTube, which is crazy.
No one told me that.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You have 7 million followers. That's amazing.
I can't comprehend people over 500 people. 500 people is a pretty big that's a pretty hefty theater. And I feel like I can't, any number beyond that. Oh, I got 50,000. And 12-year-olds today are like, oh, I got 1 million hits on this. And I'm like, you can't fathom what 1 million people even are.
No.
And so it is mind blowing. And I feel like our minds aren't equipped to handle the immensity of who we're touching. That doesn't sound good.
All at the same time, too.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. Okay, so take me to Brandon growing up in California. Were you always a kid who had a vivid imagination and was creating these larger than life characters? Was that always who you were?
Always. I used to have there was a park by our house, and the kids would always go up and meet up there, and they would kind of I would be the one setting like what game we were playing. Like if we were pirates, like I would be like, oh well, there's a whole lore I would unravel and be like, well, I'm clearly the captain and you're this person, but you just got out of a relationship with that crew member and this and that, and we would like have these and we were very alienating to other kids that come to the playground and didn't know us because we were doing our pirate ship thing or whatever. We were a police force or whatever the game, or it wasn't a game to me. It was just like pure imagination, untapped. Like it was just like, and then we go back to the park the next day or the next week and you build on these stories. And next thing you know, there's like like arcs and things. It's like so much to be writing all this down. There's lore happening at the playground. And then, yeah, I went into like middle school, high school. I got really interested in writing. I took a lot of like creative writing, science fiction, fantasy classes. And then I later took film and theater, and you kind of add all these things. I realized I thought I was a writer, and then I was like, oh no, I'm a theater kid. And then I realized, oh, I'm gay, so I could be both. And then I was like, oh, I'm also this, I like filmmaking and I love editing. And 2006, like, or 2005, my junior year, YouTube became a thing. So it's like I was learning how to edit, I was learning how to write, I was learning how to act, how to improvise, how to, and it just, the stars all kind of aligned exactly perfect to where all these skills suddenly had a platform that came out of the ether that I could put them all into. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take everything I know how to do and put it on YouTube. And that became a hobby that would eventually become a career. And I had no idea the world was going to evolve in a way that only would help this thing that I was ditching class to go do. Because at the time, nowadays you hear people say, oh, I got to make content. I got to get this thing out there. There's a reason why like content and content are the same word. It's like shit. You're okay with being out there. And for me, I loved it so much. I can't imagine being stressed over, oh, I got to make this. It's like, this was stuff that I was ditching. Like I was like ditching class and work. Once I got a day job, I was finding ways to bring my laptop and edit at my job. And so anyway, that was a long-winded.
No, I love that. That's great.
But yeah, it was it came by very honestly for me and very authentically. Yeah, and my only bit of advice for anyone who wants to even go into any form of content production would just be like, love it. A lot of people fall out of love with it or get burnt out, and it happens to the biggest creators. And I think if you are passionate about what you do, you don't even consider, like, it's just like, that's the only way. I can't imagine doing this if I wasn't obsessed with it.
Yeah. Well, you mention people getting into it, because I feel like so many people look at it now as like, growing up, kids are like, I just want to be an influencer, or I just want to be a content creator. It's an avenue if you can actually access it. But the problem is, and what it seems like with you, is that the authenticity was so there from the very beginning, and a platform that was just starting to get some momentum. And so it felt like you were allowed from the very beginning, or you felt inclined to be authentically whoever you wanted to be. Whereas I feel now people are trying to curate who they are, which I feel like you can smell the inauthenticity of that.
Oh yeah, I think we can smell authenticity or inauthenticity a lot more than we give ourselves credit. I think it's because it does fall into that uncanny valley sort of realm when someone's not being totally, you can't quite place what's wrong about what you're seeing, but this isn't a real person who's talking. That it could be the subtlest of bad acting in their face. It could be the way the logic behind what they're saying. Why would someone want to say this, or why would I think people see influencers online and they see that as like a final place of like, I want to get to there. That's my end game. I want to be that thing, but don't necessarily consider the passion or the pitfalls of having to get to that place, or the work that goes behind it. A lot of people come to conventions and they'll ask me how to get to where I am, and I think they see the version of me sitting at the table. I never did any of this to be at conventions. That was a byproduct of what I was already doing. but they see that version of me on the panel and up there with, like, oh, he's having people sign on, or he's signing autographs for people. And that must be, it's like, that was never my dream as a teenager. Wasn't like, one day I want to just sign autographs. Although I did practice it in high school.
I mean, so did I, let's be honest.
Yeah, right. I did. When I'm famous, I'm going to sign like that. But no, I always have been a storyteller first and foremost. And I think that for people to, if anyone wants to do what I'm doing, my only recommendation would just be to love it, because even I don't know if I could do it all over again. Like I couldn't, I don't know if I could go back and give myself the advice. A lot of it was luck, which is like when hard work, when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah, exactly. So exactly. So I don't know if I could do it again, because even though luck requires a lot of preparation, it's still a lot of other variables that play into it as well. But I can say that the core ingredient that does get me off my ass every day, that keeps me watering the plant, is passion. Is this, like, literally the reason why I was a few minutes late to this interview was because I was hooked in an edit. I'm editing a fucking house fire and it looks so good, and I'm upset. And like it's what I'm going back to after this interview. I take my laptop with me when I go to conventions. I'm editing in the green room.
Wow.
So yeah, it's I can't stress enough how being obsessed with your job, how important that is. Especially when it's something like a full-time job, like being someone who puts stuff out there on the internet. That is a full-time job. Yeah.
So talking about storytelling, like when you first started making your videos, when that first Vine went viral, like what was your voice at that point? What was your goal with the characters that you created? Was it always to be topical and controversial and play characters? Like, were you trying to be on the edge from the very beginning?
I think that in a way, partly I was trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy. I mean, I started when I was 17, and so anything that I thought was like, oh, this is edgy, I was, but also at the same time, I guess I didn't know what my voice was until even semi-recently. It wasn't until the channel blew up in 2015. And when that happened, I started to realize what it was that people liked me for, or what they were tuning into. And it was very in line with what I wanted to. I think trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy was the part of me. It's like, we just got to get views. We got to get views, and we got to get people watching. But the soul in me, like the part of me that wants to create, also was like, well, but I love writing these scripts and telling these stories with these characters, but it takes too long and it takes more effort than just being vulgar and being whatever. But then I realized it's that extra little bit of effort and taking that extra time to make something in quality and not just shocking for the sake of being shocking. It goes further with people and they resonate with it more. And like you said, authenticity, like creating stories is the authenticity in me. And sure, like being vulgar is also authentically me, but not for the sake of just trying to get views. I'm no longer at this mindset of like, I want to be discovered. I'm in this mindset of like, okay, now that I have an audience, let me give them a quality story, something that they're not seeing on TV, that they're not seeing at the movies. I want to give them something that I would want for myself. And so I watch a lot of TV and I play a lot of not a lot of video games, but I immerse myself in pop culture quite a bit in my free time. And I know what I want. And at the end of the day, what I'm making is for me. And it is, I think my audience likes watching a lot of the same stuff I do. I think I understand them pretty well. And I'm lucky to have an audience that I relate to so much. A lot of creators don't necessarily have an audience that they identify with so much. And I just want to create stuff that feeds them, something that they would want to replay over and over. And at the end of the day, the big, stand a mile back picture is it's all an escape. It's an escape, certainly for me when I'm making it, but it's any time you could turn on a video or pull out your phone and just check out of life for a second and just like have a quick laugh. It is, like Joan Rivers said, it's like you're sending people on a little vacation every time they laugh, because they're just even for a second, like not there for,
they're out of their own. Absolutely.
Right.
Who is your audience?
I would say college. I mean, they're getting old. I don't know. it's hard to tell if they're getting older with me or if it's just been getting bigger as time goes on. I want to say like 10 years ago it was like teenagers. It was almost all teenagers, but now I'm having people who are in their 20s and 30s come up to me. I don't know if it's because I'm expanding or because they're growing up with me.
Yeah.
My rule of thumb is to keep my audience younger than me as much as I can, because then they'll take care of you when you get old. It's like being a parent.
Like...
You know, I'm not trying to win over, although I love a good grandma and I want all of the grandmas to watch me. I feel like if I can spread joy to senior citizens, that's the ultimate dream as well. But I do like that my audience is younger than me, but not too much younger than me, meaning that they'll always kind of be with me till the end. I want to die first is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's like any good parent.
Right.
Does having 7 million people with access to you that follow you, does that change your authenticity? Does that sort of is that on your mind when you're creating characters?
That's a really good question, because I think about that sometimes. I would argue my knee-jerk answer is that it amplifies the authenticity, because as a theater kid, it's like, okay, they're watching, let's do it. It kind of adds glitter to the motivation. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like it. So you can say that that's inauthentic because it's not how I would be doing it if no one was watching me, but it wouldn't be that different. I mean, really, my videos wouldn't, if I was the only one to watch them, because when I edit them, I think to myself, if every time I watch this, if you don't like, if there's something I want to tweak, like a sound issue, I'm like, you better tweak it now, because every time you watch it, it's going to bother you.
Yeah.
So I think about it, or like, is this joke taking too long? If you're getting bored while you're editing it, people are going to be bored while they're watching. And so, I do think that I think that it doesn't take away from my authenticity, but I do think that it does add to it or alter it a bit. You know, I don't necessarily go as crazy on videos where I don't think a lot of people are going to want, like that. I will spend probably less money on videos where I don't think they're going to be a success, or I will do stunts that are less dangerous on videos that are, whereas if there is a video where I know this is going to get a lot of views, I have a guest star in it, or it's going to be a sequel to something that did big, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do the stunt and risk this. Or I'm doing a sequel to A Day at the Park, which was my most viewed video, and I just destroyed the front of my car for a shot. And so, the whole just front of the car got ripped off, and it looked really good on camera. And I'm like, I'm not paying for car repairs, I'm paying for a really good shot. And that's how I'm trying to like frame it in my head.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Can you even run that through insurance? Do we need to beep this entire thing out? Like, are they going to be, the insurance company is like, it was purposeful, we're not paying for it?
It was purposeful. I don't know how it works. Like, would my rates would they go way up after that? I don't know. Anyway, it's yeah. So now to go back to your question, is that like that's very authentic. Like I felt very good about that authentically, but I would not have done that stunt if I thought, maybe
no one's
this
gonna
won't get a lot of views. Yeah,
so
exactly.
it is, and this is for lack of a better word right now, but it is calculated in the sense that I'm not going to call it calculated. Tending to the flower, which is sort of what you said earlier. You absolutely know who your audience is. You know what videos are going to do well, and those are the ones that you might put more time, money, and energy into. Do you worry about things on YouTube, because everyone's so obsessed with that damn algorithm, and like it's so crazy?
Yes.
And I talk to content like creators. I have talked to them for years about like no one understands it. Everyone pretends to want to try and understand it, but nobody understands it. Like, what would your advice be to? I'm asking for a friend. Like who's like the reach of your episodes. I don't understand the algorithm.
Yeah, I don't think anyone. I think as the years go on, people understand it less and less. There was a time when we would pretend to know. Remember all those YouTube courses that people were offering, and like social media courses? Well, then we learned that social media is like the tectonic plates moving light speed. Like nothing is solid anymore. Nothing, because next year the rules are going to be different. The year after that, the rules are going to be different. As people change, the algorithm is a reflection of us. It is us, and as is God. It is a God. In so many books in like the 80s or before, like sci-fi novels were I think there was an episode of The Twilight Zone or something where it's like they go to this planet and these people are worshiping a computer that randomly makes choices and they don't
Yes.
fully understand how the computer. I mean, every year we're closer to that, and the algorithm is this unknowing, like this God that we further and further don't understand every year, and we just hope we hope I hope the algorithm, like we were praying to it practically. And I've learned that as long as like I don't give a fuck about the algorithm. I really don't. I guess I've been doing more verticals. I guess that's me playing into it as much. But even the verticals are very much my flavor and my, because I learned that the algorithm changes, but content is permanent. And for years, decades, people might return to this thing you made. And if it was just to appease an algorithm at that time, it's just stale trash, and your legacy just gets forgotten with the algorithm at that time. And I feel like I want stuff that, maybe it wasn't great for the algorithm at the time, but it's a good little 2 or 3 minute short that made people laugh a lot. And that's more important to me than because the algorithm is so temporary. Maybe if I was a channel doing political coverage or movie reviews or something that I knew wasn't going to be getting views far off into the future, but like the shit I'm making now, I want to entertain people of all ages way into the future. And so, the algorithm can fucking kiss my ass for all I care.
This episode is brought to you by Raycon. Do you guys remember back to school shopping as a kid? Because I do. And it was probably my favorite part of going back to school. The new notebooks, the new shoes, the new routines. And I'm not in school anymore, but I love that feeling. So I'm calling this back to school cool, because Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic are the must-have for getting into a routine and making everything feel smoother. Their Everyday Earbuds Classic are packed with upgrades, active noise cancellation, and multiple connectivity, so you can pair 2 devices at once, which you know that I love. And my favorite thing about them is that you can quick charge in 10 minutes and get 90 minutes of playtime. That helps my mom brain out. And this new cool mint color, I love it. I absolutely love it. I feel like it was made for me. So click that link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/Sackhoff to get 20% off site-wide today. This episode is brought to you by Every Plate. So do you think that you need to spend tons of time or tons of money in the kitchen to make delicious meals? Yeah, you don't. You don't even have to be a good cook because Every Plate takes all of that out of the equation for you. I love spending time in the kitchen with my family. You've heard me talk about this before. And Every Plate's crispy buffalo ranch chicken and cheesy Mexican street corn hash, kid approved. Awesome. And did you know that you will spend less on these flavor-packed homemade meals than you would on normal groceries or going to a restaurant? And there are tons of recipes to choose from. Just go to that website and peruse all the different types and styles of eating that you can do. They've got you covered. They have so many recipes, and you can up your dinner game in 30 minutes or less with Every Plate's clear, easy to follow recipes. My daughter is 3.5. She can follow them. So what are you waiting for? Dig into these flavor-packed meals your household will love. New customers can enjoy this special offer of only $1.99 a meal. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and use code Katee199 to get started. Applied as discount on first box, limited time only. Well, it is funny because you talk about politics. And not so much politics, but you are topical. Like, your characters are topical. You are touching on things that are political.
Well, yeah, I have a Karen character that I feel very, very passionate about. I think that though that stuff does, I do pick fun at current events if I think they'll withstand the test of time. There are certain things where I'm like, okay, future generations will get. I don't think the Karen idea is going to go anywhere in my lifetime. I think that we'll always kind of know like people who are just bad with customer servers, and so like that character I really like, because I also worked in customer service, and that's something I feel very passionate about, are people who are deliberately terrible to minimum wage employees. But yeah, I've done videos where I play the president. I've done videos where I play. And of course, if there's something that I feel, very rarely, but if I feel very strongly about something, I will find a way to parody it. But again, in a way that I think future generations won't be estranged when they watch it.
Yeah. So you seem, not right now, but on your channel, larger than life, and you put a lot of energy into your characters, and is that exhausting?
Yes. Well, it depends because the characters, it's all compartmentalized. It's a time and a place. I'm on set. It's like going to yoga and or going to any kind of like physical therapy type setting and getting something out of your body. There's a time and place for it. When I'm on set, it's okay to scream. It's okay. I just did a thing where this house is on fire and I had to scream fire a bunch of times at the top of my lungs. Like I was allowed to get that out there because that was where it's supposed to happen. But, I'll tell you what is exhausting is playing myself when I'm at cons. And when I say playing myself, we all are kind of a different version when we're in public, whether you're famous or not. When you go to a party, when you go to any kind of heightened social atmosphere, you're sort of an amped version of you.
Yeah.
And it is exhausting to be like kind of a socialite person. Whereas when the cons, it's 3 days. I'm just saying this for people watching. It's like essentially 8 hours a day of just being there for your fans, being present for your fans, and every person who comes up to you, you have to have a moment with each of them. That's where it does become exhausting because you'll have someone who like just lost their husband. And then you'll have someone who it's like, you're the reason why I graduated and I got through high school. And then, it's all positive. And the next person is like, someone very close to me just died. And this is what and so and all of those I love all those interactions, but the toggling of the emotions to going from like extreme positive to extreme, like compassion.
Yeah, that empathy.
And then you'll get a bro come up to you and it's neither of those things. He's just like being like weird and wants you on his shoulders. People have all kinds of weird requests when they come up, and everything takes a little piece of me to kind of, especially if the person's energy is really big, it kind of sucks mine a little. So anyway, to answer your question, being myself authentically at cons, having an authentic conversation with a fan every minute for hours and hours and hours a day, that's where I start to become exhausted because I don't want to lose my authentic self when I'm talking to the next person because this person drained me. And so I try and just hold on to that energy throughout the day and preserve it. Anyway.
How much of cons have you always done conventions, or is that something that you started looking at and realizing that is an extension of your channel?
Honestly, I got kind of thrown into it. Once I started doing voice acting, they threw me into it because voice actors are notorious for going to conventions more than screen actors. And so I got roped into it. But then I realized the con setting is one that I fit into very like it's a setting for this weird alter version of myself to kind of live. Like I get to be weird at panels and I get to just have fun at the booth and I get to have fun at the photo ops. And I realized like, there is this weird world where I fit in here, and it doesn't feel like I'm out of my element. And also just it's a wonderful reminder every weekend to know why I'm doing this and to see the effects that comedy has on people, because comedy is such a subversive tool. It can apply differently to so many people, but it's all good. Like some people can meet their spouse over connecting over a sense of humor, or someone could get through, chemotherapy or any kind of like medical treatment just because all they have is like videos to watch, and that can get someone through something really tough. When I see it, when I hear all these stories and meet all the people who are affected by the videos, the voice in my head that says this is a dumb thing that you're getting paid for, and you're just like, part of me thinks like, well, what are you giving back to society? Like at the end of the day, I'm like, what am I really giving back to society? And when I go to cons and I see the effect that comedy has on people, that voice gets a little quieter each time. And I still have it. Everyone has like a sense of imposter syndrome. And if you don't, I don't want to meet you. I think that it's a very human thing to have it. But anyway, I forget where I was even going with this. I feel like at cons I fit in very well, and that meeting the fans in great volume reduces the amount of imposter syndrome I have. And so,
every single person that I have spoken to on this show has imposter syndrome. Every person. I think everybody does. Everybody, because I feel like so many people that are creatives, we started doing this because we love it. We got something out of it when we were young. Most people do what they do in our industries because they love it. The success is a byproduct. And that's, I think, where that imposter syndrome comes from, because like, you know, don't tell my boss, but I would do it for free. You know, like as long as my house was paid for, I would do it for free.
Right.
Because I love it. So that's so I hear that a lot. What makes you laugh?
What did I see recently that made me? I like things that are absurdly close to that are absurd but close to reality. Uh, John Waters makes me laugh a lot. John Waters taught me the rules of absurdity, or at least taught me what's to love about it, because he has these very normal settings but very ridiculous dialogue, and it's especially in a lot of his movies came from a period of time when you didn't see a lot of crass humor in film, and so to see movies from like the 60s where they're like, you know, give me that fucking egg, I want to eat that shit. They're talking like almost like how people talk now. That makes me laugh. I like I don't know. I laugh at a lot of stuff. It doesn't take much. A lot of, oh my God, the Jet 2 holiday meme. I very rarely do I get on board with the meme like this. But
I don't know what the meme is.
So there's this ad where it says, you know, it's like now you can save, you know, $50 per person on a family bundle when you fly to, you know, there's one of those travel ads.
Yes.
And it's just like very upbeat and positive. People pair the audio with like vacations going horribly wrong, like a septic tank explosion on a plane, and the shit's running down the aisle, and they're running, and it's like you too can save $50 per person, and they're filming all. So it's like it's just taking some like a really bad, or just something chaotic, someone falling off as something.
Right.
I don't.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's that makes me laugh every time I see it. I don't know. I hate to say that I laugh at a lot of low-hanging fruit. I'm a doom scroller, and so it doesn't take much to, and my phone is starting to learn, the algorithm is learning what makes me giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What kind of stuff gets you?
I don't, so I laugh when people get hurt. Like that, like
because
really
you're not supposed to.
Uncomfortable thing, like, and like not like I don't want to see a child get severely hurt on Instagram.
Right.
Like I don't want to see that. But like we were at the park yesterday, and our daughter's friend's dad is a very animated talker, and she's walking past him, and he just backhands her with the watch on. Like literally, it was the perfect hit, and. Everyone just froze, and she just, as did she, and then just, I mean, as you can imagine, was just inconsolable. And that made me laugh, because once I knew she was okay, of course, I couldn't stop laughing, because then the reaction of my daughter is she's like in the corner peacefully waiting, but like staring at her nonstop because she just wants to keep playing, and she feels guilty about not playing. So she's watching this whole thing. That makes me laugh. Like kids say the funniest things.
Yeah. That I hate. It's what we're not. It's like it's because you're really not supposed to laugh at it. And it's sudden. It's like your brain has to catch up to what just happened. You're like, oh, that kid just got pummeled in the face. Oh, and I've seen that. I know the look you're talking about when kids are waiting for other kids to stop crying, and they're just kind of like.
I know.
There.
Like, are we playing again? Like, are you done?
Yeah.
Like, when are you done? This morning, my daughter said to me, because we're teaching her, she's 3.5, we're teaching her how to go to the potty and like wipe. And wiping is not an easy thing for kids to learn. Their arms are not long enough to wipe. And then she said to me this morning, she goes, Mommy, I need to clean up. And I was like, okay, so I'm cleaning her up. And she looks at me and she goes, it's like we're playing hide and go seek with my poop.
She's very poetic.
Right? And I was
she
like,
might be a writer one day.
It is. Yeah. We are. And it is super good at hiding.
It's super. I hope I don't find it.
So like shit like that, like just makes me die. She says the damnedest things. And it just kills me. It kills me.
That's the honesty of it. It's the no filter and not seeing the world like we've seen it for so long.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Yeah, yeah, seeing videos like that get me. Also, weirdly enough, I'm very addicted to dog videos, just dogs being, particularly like pit bulls and retrievers. I don't know why. I'm glad they're in my algorithm. It's mainly pit bulls, retrievers, and yeah, people getting hurt. There was a time when a lot of car accidents were my algorithm. I don't know
Oh,
how that
Jesus.
happened. It just started giving me car accidents, and then I'd read the comments like, "Oh yeah, he died. He's dead. This family's gone." And I'm like,
Oh my
"Why am I
God.
getting
And
like
you're like,
people dying on my?" Yeah. Do you ever get people? Deaths are not so much now, but I was getting a lot of just like accidents happen, plane crashes and shit like that.
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
was too. And I had to purposefully change my algorithm. Like I had to
yeah.
purposefully start like looking for baking videos or like chicken videos or like something just to like, I needed to refresh my algorithm.
Yes.
Um, I want to segue into voiceover because you
Mm.
brought it up.
Yes. Yeah.
And ultimately it's why we're here, what you're here to promote. So I want to talk to you about Helluva Boss because I think it's exactly the story coming out of YouTube
Hmm.
that gets people to say, I want to do that. It's the stuff that we love. We love to see the independent stuff get picked up and
Yeah.
then go. How did Helluva Boss come to you? How did you get into voiceover work?
It was very simple. I wish there was a complicated story, but Viv, just the creator of the show, she just came up to me, or she emailed my manager, got a hold of me, and we met for coffee. And she said, "I'm doing this show. It's a proof of it wasn't even a show that she was pitching. It was a proof of concept. It was a 10-minute little pilot." And she was like, "I want you to voice the boss of the office. It's a workplace comedy. I want you to voice him, and I would also like you to write for the show." And I immediately I was like, "Oh yeah, you're doing all the work. I just have to write and voice." Like that's because animation. It's a really complicated operation that she's pulling off, and I'm offered to be strictly creative and talent. That's it. And it's like, fuck yeah, I'd love to. And so it was a no-brainer, and I saw what Blitz looked like. He looks so cool. He's just such a cool character design. Of course, I was obsessed. I was like, yes, I would love to be him. I think it was it wasn't. It was a shock to us, even though our goal was to get picked up. Your goal is always to, have
Of
bigger
course.
eyes look at you. But realistically, I don't know if we really thought it was going to explode like this.
Mm,
And I know Viv and I were both at a place in our career where we're like, we both really wanted this on the horizon. And um it's going back to what we were talking about, authenticity. She's always been very authentic with it. When she reached out to me, I could tell this is a creator who cares about the characters, who cares about the story, just like I do. How do we tell the best story possible? She, has never been in this game for views or for clout. And so anyway, I was really drawn to that. When she came to me, I could tell this is not an influencer. This is a nerd, essentially, like me.
yeah.
Like I love people who love not just pop culture, but their own pop culture, their own, creation. And she seemed very confident in what she had on the table. And yeah, when I met her, I could tell this is someone who's creative, who's smart, who's capable, and not just that, but just very friendly. We
Yeah.
wrote the whole first season together at a diner. And she brought her laptop, and I would, we would, it was like a school, like an after school, like homework assignment. We would just get together and write shit out on her laptop. And
Hmm.
anyway, yeah, that's all to say. It was very, very simple. Like asking, your friend's your mom if you could come and play. Like it was basically that.
So forgive me, but what came first, Has Been Hotel or Helluva Boss?
That's Has Been technically came first. The pilot came first, and then Hell of a Boss was a spinoff off of that pilot. But then Has Been was on the shelf for so long, so it was like Hell of a Boss was being released nonstop, and there was only one episode of Has Been. So
Got it.
people think Hell of a came first just because the episodes rolled out sooner. But technically, Has Been is the OG. Hell of is the spinoff.
Okay, so for people who have no idea what Helluva Boss is,
Mhm.
how do you explain it to them?
The same way Viv explained it to me when she offered me the part. It's a workplace comedy that takes place in hell. It's a workplace comedy that takes place in hell about demon assassins who go out and kill people for money. The only thing I added was that it also takes place on Earth because I wanted the earth and hell dichotomy. I like that some are there in some series. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's very, very simple. It was supposed to be a Wile E. Coyote kind of Roadrunner sit thing where it resets every episode, but then we started learning that these characters have feelings and that there's a deeper lore there, and the show started very quickly becoming a comedy drama.
Yeah.
And very deep.
Have you guys ever written something and said we can't do that?
Probably every episode.
And then how do you push through?
We take it as far as we can. We look at it from every angle. How will our fans react? How will YouTube react? How will Amazon react? How will I mean, most of the time we get our jokes through, but every now and then, like I really love the word, and we had it in the first season, and YouTube, because of YouTube's guidelines, we had to redact it. But then Amazon was like, no, uncensor it. So when it goes on Amazon, so it's weird. The show went through like censorship, but then now we're having the censorship removed. And then on the future episodes, because we're not making them for the YouTube guidelines anymore.
Yeah.
We're now like going a lot further and harder with the jokes we couldn't necessarily do before. And the gore we couldn't show before.
Which is so interesting to me, because I would think that Amazon would be more restrictive.
Yeah. You would think, but then I remember they made The Boys, and I just recently rewatched that show, and I'm like, oh wow, I remember I was watching it like a month ago thinking, I'm so glad we're in these people's hands, because if they're allowing this to happen, someone crawled inside of a penis and then blew up to normal size and the penis exploded. And like, I'm like, that right there, if we can get away with that, like that's live action too. Animation, you can get away with a lot more. So if they showed a penis exploding on Amazon, I felt like, well, there's
you could do anything. So what seasons are airing on Amazon, and then what stays on YouTube? Like if people want to watch it now and they need to start someplace, where do they start?
I would say Amazon. Well, on Amazon, we're re-releasing the pilot. So the pilot was made where I shouldn't say re-releasing. We have remade the pilot from scratch. We went back and we rewrote the pilot to fit the characters as they have evolved now.
Really?
To show the animation as it has evolved now. And it was Amazon's, I think it was their idea. I think they said, we'll buy the show if you remake the pilot so that new audiences will have this like very polished first episode to watch. And so, both seasons are going on Amazon, and then the new pilot is going on Amazon, and then after that it's all the new episodes on Amazon, and then a month later they're still on YouTube. So it's like even if you don't have Amazon, you can technically still watch them, but they're just exclusively there for a month. So
how'd you guys carve that out? That's a nice deal.
I don't know. It's an unheard of deal. It really is like the first of its kind in this business, because every time someone gives you money to make something, it's understood. They have a say in those creative choices. That's just how this business functions. I think this contract found itself because Has-Been had already proven itself, and Has-Been, Amazon does have a lot of, I think that they do work pretty hands-on with Has-Been. With Helluva, I think that they already had this major cash cow called Has-Been. They were kind of like, let Helluva continue. And also Helluva's proven successful. The show has a formula that it comes with, where I think Amazon would be it would be very silly of them to try and tweak that formula for their, so, and also that it wouldn't be a good look. I have a lot of respect for companies that bring in source material and then respect the hell out of the source material they've adopted to allow it to be its truest self.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. I'm very lucky that we're in Amazon. I mean, I'm not just saying, like, they really are sweet. We had dinner with the executives recently, and they were just the nicest
they
people.
Love you guys. I haven't had dinner with my Amazon executives from Carrie yet.
Oh my God. Well, we need to do that. We can have all blood-colored foods. and
that would be I mean, listen, we're both in a blood sort of world. So
I love it though. I love it because we get the coolest looking fans.
I know. I had never worked for Amazon until Carrie. And it was like one of the studios that I hadn't worked with, and I was so excited. And they are so supportive. So supportive. Even talking to like the creators, they're very supportive just from the top down, which seems like the same case with you guys.
Yeah, I'm just happy that they're giving like weird stuff a chance. These shows aren't for every platform. They are like first they're very violent, they're very like queer, they're very they're just even if they're not even if that's okay with it, I think a lot of people looked at these shows and were like, I don't know what that is. It's the same problem Nightmare Before Christmas had when it came out. It's like no one knew what it was, and it kind of flopped because
oh God, I love it though.
so I know. And so I feel like Hasbin and Helluva fit in that same Nightmare Before Christmas cloth, where maybe I think in the future more mainstream entities will understand the power that it wields. But I think when we were looking for a place for it to live, I think a lot of people were kind of like, we don't know what to do with these shows.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it's very at home. Honestly, I went on Amazon this morning and I went to go change my profile photo, and Blitz is now an option.
Oh, you can have him as an option?
Yeah. It really was like I've made it moment when I saw that. I was like, an Amazon icon, holy shit.
Oh my God, that's so cool. I hadn't thought of it actually until you just mentioned it, that the Tim Burton animation style of Jack in Nightmare Before Christmas is very similar to Blitzo in the sense that they have a very similar movement pattern in their stature.
Viv loves characters, as does like Tim Burton and Henry Selick, like that are very long and pointy. She likes characters that probably didn't feel good when they were being birthed.
Yes. Now that you said that.
Right. And also they're characters that are both challenging and rewarding to cosplay. They look very like, I see people try to achieve the silhouettes that these characters give. And it's cool because the same goes for Nightmare Before Christmas. I think a lot of those characters are and also like Invader Zim. There are just certain shows where the character, because I think it's the norm for animation to have characters that are round and bubbly and big eyes and soft looking, whereas her characters you don't want to touch them necessarily. They're very pointy.
It's not as welcoming.
Yeah. Not as welcoming, yes, but it is the longer you look at some of these characters, the more soothing it is to just sort of take in their character design and the way they're built. I'm just lucky that I have a character that I'm proud to represent, wear on a shirt or something.
Yeah. How do you feel about, and I don't really understand a lot of it, but how do you feel about the new YouTube changes to AI content and how that's going to change the platform?
I mean, it's not gonna, honestly, I think well, first of all, I think people should make their stuff. First and foremost, I don't think that you should just tell a robot what video you want and then upload it. It is kind of, as someone who has to work for, I'm in the trenches, in my costumes, writing my scripts, doing, we're editing my footage.
Yeah.
When someone just tells a computer what to do and it does it for them, I don't know, it does make me feel a little bit like the cashier looking at the self-checkout section going like, how many more of you are coming? Because I don't know. So I am glad that someone's doing something about it. At the end of the day, I'm going to make my stuff and the world can AI or not AI. I don't give a shit. I mean, obviously I do. It affects artists everywhere.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I'm really happy that YouTube is doing something about it. But when I say it doesn't affect me, I mean current people using AI has so far, knock on wood, not affected the production of my stuff. It hasn't impeded on how we make things. But at the same time, I do think that people should be making their own things. I spend a lot of time making my stuff from scratch, and I don't want to sound petty, but the idea of someone getting paid equally or more than me for an AI production, that's kind of a slap in my face.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and also if YouTube allows that too, if YouTube condones that, and so I'm glad they're doing something about it, because YouTube has creators like me who have been with them for 20 years or something like that. How long was 2006? Yeah, 19 years I've been on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, so for a lot of its creators, I think that it's good that it's showing where its loyalties lie, I guess. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I love it. I agree. Yeah. I completely agree. I completely agree that, I believe that AI is a tool, but it shouldn't be the creator.
No.
And I artists work our butts off. And it is plagiarism and stealing. I mean, if an AI program is learning how to create based on what it's seen that was created by an actual person, that is stealing in essence.
Right.
And so it's, you know, it's a tough thing. I'm glad it's good to see someone doing something about it, because I do agree that nobody should be paid the same amount of money as somebody who's creating from the ground up. If they're just like using a computer to do it. So it'll be, I'm curious to see what it does and what it changes. I
will say I've had fans come up to me and give me artwork, whether it's physical artwork or music that they'll play for me, like a song they made. And I'm getting AI. And people are coming up to me trying to tell me that what they made is AI to my face. And they're filming me while they show it to me. So it's like, I either give them the footage they want and go, wow, it's really good. Or I stand up for it right there and I go, that's AI. I don't support that. And it's uncomfortable because I have to say that to their face. I cannot let anyone, you know, and sometimes I can't tell it's AI. One time I was looking for a song to post with on Instagram for a photo. I posted a photo and I wanted music to go with it. And sometimes people will make Helluva Boss songs, like their own version of a Helluva Boss song or something. So I used a fucking AI track, and people in the comments were like, this is AI music. I couldn't tell.
And you had no idea. You couldn't tell.
I had no idea.
That's the tough part, right?
That's tough, but it's so, well, anyway, what I mean to say is this is the first time YouTube cracking down is the first time I have seen a major company doing something about it. Cause I could be wrong. I'm sure other companies have done things about it in the past, but I can't think of, this is the first time I've seen someone setting their foot like, no, we will not reward this.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm just glad. I mean, I feel like, you know, people make stuff that's AI, you know, great, fine, they can do whatever they want. I don't want you getting revered or paid equally to me.
Yeah.
So, you know,
amen. Amen.
Yeah.
What do you want to do next? Like, now that this sort of, obviously more content for the channel, but it feels like another world has sort of opened up to you with this relationship with Amazon.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that I continue to be part of the Amazon orgy. I want to stay in bed with them. You know what it is? I really don't get anything that Amazon, at this point, like, I'm not trying to be, like, they know what flavor I taste like. They know I'm not trying to be discovered by them. I'm just hoping that now that they know what I taste, smell, and feel like, that they have stuff that might be a good fit. I really don't know. If this is the only thing I do with them, I'm lucky to have had this.
Yeah.
I'd never thought I would even have this. So for me, thinking what's next, I'm just not going to say no to anything. That's what's next. I'm just going to say yes to everything that comes my way.
Yes,
but again, kind of though. I mean, I really have to not like something for, you know, or I mean, I really have to not like a creative project for me to not want to be acting in it, because I think it's fun to play any kind of character. And so whenever anyone's like, you want to play a mailman, a school teacher, you want to play this like person with no face and you won't see your head. Okay, great. Like,
well, now that's just a Mandalorian.
Right. I was just going to say, oh my God, I just described the Mandalorian.
It's true. But who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't be like, sure, I'll do that.
Being in the Star Wars universe is, oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. But holy shit.
This has been so fun. I've loved getting to know you a little bit better, and I am thoroughly impressed with the content that you've been able to put out for as long as you have, and I'm really excited to see Helluva Boss on Amazon.
Thank you so much.
September 10th, right?
September 10th. Yeah. That's damn. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I hope we get to hang out with each other at conventions in the future. I'm sorry that this is how we meet, but I'm glad I got to finally meet you and hang out with you.
Oh my gosh. And then we can work together at some point so we can both be weird on stage, because it's one of my favorite things.
I would love that. Anytime. Yeah.
I love it.
Remember, I say no to nothing, especially you, Katee.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Hindsight of Brandon Rogers. That was crazy, Jeff. He's got 7 million followers on YouTube.
He's so sweet, too.
So sweet. You know, you never know what you're going to get from somebody when you don't really know them. And he was just so just thoughtful and like sweet and humble and really cool.
Well, you talked a little bit about the imposter syndrome stuff, and it's been a running theme on the show recently of you being nervous before you go into an interview and then it working out so well.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think the thing that I've learned about imposter syndrome just with every single person that we've interviewed is that I think everybody has a little bit of it,
Yeah, 100%.
Because I don't think that imposter syndrome really goes away. I think that especially because you've got so many people on social media willing to tell you every day how terrible you are and how you you don't deserve it, and they think you're horrible, and they think you're. So it's very funny to me that I think that's actually part of the imposter syndrome. It comes from this constant criticism by society.
Yeah, it's like for most people, it's just in their head. But for you, you get the little demons in your head are manifested on your Instagram feed every day or
Who's
year.
She?
Yeah,
I know. I love it. That's one of the things I wish that I had talked to him a little bit more about was how he handles that. Because not everyone, when we talked about this, not everyone's always going to love you, especially if you're creating art.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't imagine that all of his comments are super supportive.
No, I mean, it was interesting when he was talking about the AI stuff. The particular story I found interesting was when he was talking about how people at conventions come up to him and show him stuff that's been created with AI, and he feels obligated to call people out for it, which I would love to see like a video of him being like, you know what, actually, have you ever had that? Has anybody done that?
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, like, no one's ever come up to me and had a piece of AI created art for me to sign.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit more, I would imagine, prevalent in the animation world.
True.
But
well, you have some animation background.
I do. But I do have people creating deepfakes, which to me,
in a creepy way or in a
creepy way.
Yeah, but they're not bringing it to you at conventions, are they?
No, and that's the difference. No one's bringing up like nude created AI version of me to sign at a convention. If they did, I think I'd punch them.
Yeah, could you imagine? Hey, could you sign this?
From that time that
I fucking serious?
AI pretend that you did Playboy.
Yeah, it's like the balls.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, pretty crazy. He's been doing this for a long time.
I know, it's got like a really like old school YouTube vibe about it, which YouTube has changed so much. And he said he started in 2006. Is that what he said? I think YouTube launched in 2005.
It's crazy. He was there in the beginning, and he also one of the things that I get the feeling from him was that he always just did what he wanted to do. Like, he was always having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, right? We talk about that sometimes. If it's not fun anymore, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's taking up all your time.
I mean, clearly he loves it because, it's led to a lot of stuff for him. And, I thought it was interesting, speaking of YouTube, talking about how Amazon is allowing them to put that out on YouTube.
It's amazing to me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's kind of just where everything's going eventually, in a way.
I think so. I think that's, talk about the balls on someone, but also like, that you matter.
Mm-hmm.
When they're willing to do that. And also good for them. Vivian Medrano, who created Has Been Hotel, she's just a beast of creator. Like, what that shows me is that she knows her worth. She knows she's talented, and she and Brandon they work together constantly. Like, he was, from what I understand, one of the voices in Has Been Hotel, and then that got his
Helluva Boss
spin-off into Helluva Boss.
Yeah.
But, and then what came first, the chicken or the egg, is an interesting conversation too that I didn't quite understand. Did you track that?
Yeah. So one of them was created and pitched first, got greenlit, but then the other one was then a spinoff, but somehow came out before the first one.
Right. Like they made a pilot for one first. That's so confusing to me.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. It's I would love to have her on the show too.
Yeah. Ask her more questions about the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, well, I reached out to her and she didn't respond on Instagram. So maybe that's not a way that she's communicating. She doesn't like people sliding into her DMs, but that's okay. You never know.
Maybe
one
this
of these
YouTube
days.
video will get her attention.
Maybe. We'll tag her.
Yeah, we'll put that email up right now so that she can email us.
Yes, you can email us, Vivian, at thesackoffshow@gmail.com and let us know you want to come on the show and talk.
Yes.
And other than that, you guys, thank you so much for coming. We're going to keep this hindsight real quick and to the point. If you want to go a little bit deeper with Jeff and I and talk about more things, you can join us over at the Patreon. It's a really great community that we have been forming over there. And I know that with an overcrowded podcast space, you guys just showing up here is amazing. And we're so grateful. So if that interests you, you can go to patreon.com/thesackoffshow. This week, we're going to talk about the Tomo episode. We're going to talk about me chugging non-alcoholic ciders right now because I'm so stressed out. We're going to talk about my convention schedule. We're going to talk about kids going back to school. We're going to talk about vacations. We're going to talk, oh my God, you guys, we're going to go to Patreon. We're going to have a good time. Be there. Don't be square.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time for me.
And I also wanted to just have a super quick shout out to Peril TJ 333 and Bad Cat 71. We see you. You're here every week and you're talking and chatting with each other too.
Yeah.
And we love that. So you guys keep being you and keep showing up because we see you and we appreciate you. So thanks.
Yeah. Just a nice friendly call out. It's very, very adorable to see you guys chatting every single week.
I do love it. But this has been great and we appreciate you. Have a fantastic rest of your week and we will see you next Tuesday.
And that's what's up.
And that's what's up.